Good morning, this is Rick Patterson. I'm here in beautiful Southern California, and I'm happy to share a little bit about one of my favorite subjects, and that is classic cars. This is a 1969 Camaro. This car has some special trappings on it. YSC stands for Yenko Super Camaro. This car was made in 1969, but the first one was made in 1967.
Camaro.
Chevrolet had put a limit on the amount of cubic inches that the engines could be built with. They had 400 cubic inch limit on them, and that put the Camaro in 67 at a real disadvantage with the Mustang, the Barracuda, and just wasn't at the top of its class as far as power and performance was concerned. So there was a real proud Chevrolet owner and Chevrolet dealer by the name of Don Yenko, who lived in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. And Don said, I want to make a difference. So he went to the factory and got an agreement together with Chevrolet that he would be able to buy these cars directly from the factory and modify them in a way that would make them a real competitor. 1969, Chevrolet recognized the attention that the Yenko was getting, and it wasn't really able to race it as a Chevrolet because it was not a production car, so they changed that. Don Yenko and Chevrolet entered into an agreement, and Chevrolet called it a central office production order. And they began to install the 427 engines actually on the factory line. And then when they rolled off the factory line, they would go to Don Yenko Chevrolet. He would modify the engine and create this great car. I'd like to introduce you to a guy that really knows what he's talking about. Dave, come on over here. Dave has done a little bit of everything with cars, everything from fabricating to racing and to making them run the way they're supposed to run. We just talked a little bit about a Yenko. Tell me, Dave, what are your impressions of a Yenko, and what do you enjoy about a Yenko?
Yeah, they're a very nice car. Your Clone's a very good example of one. It's basically correct except for the hood scoop. They came with dog dish hubcaps, very plain, no radio delete cars, and they ran really good from the factory. You put a set of slicks on them, take them to the track, and they'd run in the 12s right from Don Yenko's dealership. So they're a unique car. There's not very many of them left, and this is a nice one. It's fun.
Let's take a look at the engine here.
It's 502 cubic inches, aluminum headed. It's got all the billet accessories on it. Hooker Super Comp headers, a Reds 850 double pumper carburetor, nitrous express nitrous kit, MSD ignition, all the good stuff. Be Cool radiator to keep it nice and cool. Twin electric fans. We upgraded the brakes. It's got Willwood disc brakes all the way around with aluminum master cylinder. There are no power brakes, but that's just an extra weight you don't need in a car like this. It's got the chrome alternator, the March pulley setup, all the dress-up stuff, serpentine belt. It's a nice car.
There's a couple of things I'd like to point out that demonstrate that not only is this car street legal, but it is also a car that can be raced with some relative degree of safety. One of the things that you'll notice is that there's a 5-point harness set up here. Comes over both shoulders and over your lap and up between your legs, so you're secured into the car pretty tightly. Then we have a roll bar here. Heaven forbid that somebody make a wrong move. At the top speed at the end of the quarter mile, this car could do a few flips if something went wrong. You also notice the street legal slicks. You have to have a little bit of tread on your slicks, which we have here. These Hoosier rubber tires really dig in and take a real bite to launch this car when the time comes. Another thing you might notice with a close-up is there are a couple of stress cracks here along the roof line. You might think that that's from old paint or something, but in reality, this car generates so much torque when the engine cranks and passes the power through the drive shaft back to the rear end. It actually that power wants to twist the engine as if it were a pretzel and just tear it apart. So the resistance comes through the suspension, and the rear end keeps the wheels and the tires on the surface of the street. But here, the stress tries to escape through the body, and it cracks the body. So some people like to fix those. I like to show them because it tells you what this car does when it launches. Around here in the back, you can see that we have a fuel cell that is separate and in the trunk. It's made out of industrial plastic. so that it's a little bit flexible, safer, sealed tight. We also have the battery back here, all the electronics, and that's where the cutoff switch is. And this is an interesting little device. I don't know what this is supposed to do except create about another 150 horsepower if you ever needed that. It's a little scary when you push the nitrous button and this thing really accelerates. You want to make sure you've got a lot of room on all four sides when you do that. You'll notice that the license plate really says a little bit about the history of the car. The cover says Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, a high-performance Yenko. Cannonsburg is where Don Yenko's dealership was, and where he started his fame by converting the first Camaro off the line into a Yenko in 1967. The rest is history, and this original of these cars are real legends.